Hey guys, Jake here at Arrowhead Rifles. I just wanted to make a video today going over these new Swarovski STC Big Eyes using the Adams adapter. If you follow us on social media, you've probably seen quite a few posts about these. We've been running these for, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks now, and we're pretty high on them. They're pretty amazing for the size and the weight and what you get in them. So just going over them real quick. First thing first, kind of the elephant in the room when it comes to these is the pupillary distance, which is how close these can get. The closest that they can get is 2.56, I believe, is the actual measurement, which there's ways that you can measure your pupillary distance and videos going over that and whatnot, so I'm not going to get into that today. But yeah, you definitely need to make sure that you measure your pupillary distance to make sure that these will work for you. In our experience from the people that we've had try them, it seems like I'd say a third to half of the people that try them actually can't use them. So it is a pretty big chunk. If you have narrow eyes, unfortunately, these just aren't going to work for you. When I measured mine, I was right there between like 2.53 and 2.57 every time I'd set my binos and measure them. And I can run them and they actually aren't touching. So I think if you're, above 2.5, I'd at least try to get a hold of a set and try them out. Because yeah, they work no problem for me, and like I said, I was right there in the low to mid 2.5s for a pupillary distance. Other than that, as you can see, these are not very big. That's definitely what drew me to wanting to try them out. The size on them is going to be, they're 11.25 inch long, and then with where they're set for my eyes, they're 5.25 inches wide, and then they're about 5 inches deep from the bottom of the adapter to the top of the handle, which this handle is optional, so you don't necessarily have to run it, but it is pretty handy. And then the weight on them is, with the bracket, they come in about 5.5 pounds. So really just lightweight for what you're getting in the package. The footprint in your backpack is very small overall compared to, say, something like a 95 STX or BTX, what have you. So yeah, now I'm just going to get into why I decided to try and run these this year over the setup I had previous. So what I've been running for basically since the day it came out is a BTX eyepiece on a 95mm objective, and then the ATX eyepiece as well. What I found is I would pretty much only use the ATX eyepiece for filming. I was just more comfortable even judging animals at a further distance on the fixed 35 power through the BTX rather than looking through one eye at, say, 70 power, cranking the ATX up all the way. So I pretty much just had the ATX eyepiece to film. When I decided to make the switch to these, that was my biggest, I guess, unknown or thing that I thought I would regret the most, is not being able to get the quality of film I really wanted to get out of one of these STCs, seeing as it's only got a 56mm objective and you can only go up to 40 power. I've messed with them a little bit. I filmed some stuff. I'll include some clips at the end of this video of some different distances and filming through it. Today it's been kind of overcast. The sun is finally coming out, so all the clips, it was very overcast, so the lighting wasn't great. And still, I really do feel like I could get what I need out of these with filming. I don't think I'm going to get, the ultra crisp clips that I was getting with a 95, but still, I think that it's good enough to do what I need to do. And at the closer distances, I mean, it's easily good enough. I mean, it takes really good video. Once you get out there at distance, I'd say past 1,000 yards, I would say the quality kind of starts to fall off, because you got to crank the power, up in there 35 to 40 power, and then you're losing some light with it, and that just shows and reflects in the video. So, but anyway, for me, I decided, with that setup I was running for the BTX, ATX, and the 95mm objective, I want to say I was, right around 8 pounds is what it came out to. I ditched all of that and just went to these, so I'm not going to run another spotter, and I'm saving 2.5 pounds, as well as just a lot of space in my pack. Also with that, with the BTX, the 35 power is awesome when you're looking, I'd say, past a mile or a mile and a half. For me, when I'm inside of, let's say, like 1,500 yards, it's almost too much and it's too tight. That's where these really shine for me, and what made the difference for me is how big the field of view and the brightness on these is at, say 17 to 25, even 30 power, but really 17 to 25 power. these are next level. I would argue it's almost like glassing through ELs or SLCs, you know, from at 17 power. The field of view is huge. The brightness is everything you could want it to be, and something that's a 17 power. And so for me, that just made all the difference. You know, being able to put these on 17 power and glass from, I mean, I was glassing with them this morning, you know, 500 yards, and the field of view didn't feel, you know, really too constricted. Once you get out 800 yards past that at 17 power, I mean, it's phenomenal. And then once I would get, you know, close to, let's say, a mile, I would turn it to 25 power. And then if I was looking past a mile, you know, I would crank up to 35 or 40 power, which I find going between magnification ranges, a lot of guys, and this was kind of my, you know, my thought as well, is that you either have to run them at 17 or at 40. Trying to get both scopes at the same exact magnification was going to be an issue, and maybe it wouldn't be perfect and kind of, you know, disrupt my vision or give me a headache. I haven't found that. The scope has, you know, a mark for 17, 25, 35, and 40 on it, and I found if I put the arrow, you know, right there on each one of those on both scopes, it's really close to where it doesn't bug my eyes at all, and I can glass with it no problem. So I really don't see that being an issue, as well as the focusing, getting each eyepiece focused. After you use them for a little bit, I mean, it's really pretty simple. When you're going from, like, let's say 500 yards to glass in a mile, it's just a quick focus, you know, shut one eye, focus it, shut the other eye, focus it, and then I open both eyes and kind of just play with them a little bit and get them perfect, and it's like 5 seconds of focusing, and, you know, you're glassing. So really, I can't say enough about them. I'm super excited to run them this year. I haven't seen, you know, I've looked through the other Swarovski, like the STS 65s. I've looked through the Kowa 77s as far as like the dual big eyes. I've looked through the BTX 115, and for me, I've never found anything that made me want to switch from my BTX with a 95mm objective. I would say after 3 days of using these, you know, I sold my BTX. So for me, it was that obvious that these are really, you know, something special in my opinion. And yeah, so I'm super excited to run these. The price point on these is going to be $56.50 for 2 scopes and the adapter. I should have mentioned the adapter is made by a buddy of ours, Adam, out of Tucson. His company's called Adam's Adapters. You can get these through him or us if you're in the Tucson area. Make sure to hit him up and go check him out if you want. If you're in, you know, the Phoenix area, you can check us out and come take a look at a pair. And then I believe Bull Basin and Flagstaff has them as well for you to look at. But again, getting to the price, it's $56.50 for both scopes and the bracket. We do sell just the bracket if you already have one scope and you want to just buy one other scope and the bracket, or if you know, want to source the scopes elsewhere and just get the bracket, you can get it through us, Adam, you know, and it comes out, I think it's $550 for the bracket. So yeah, for what it is, the price point really compared to, let's say, like a BTX 115, you know, it's just phenomenal. I think a lot of guys are going to be switching to these. From what I've seen a lot of BTXs up for sale already. I think a lot of guys have really noticed, you know, kind of what a game changer these are. Being able to go from 17 to 40 on the fly while you're looking at something is just awesome. So yeah, give us a call if you have any questions about them. These are available right now on the website, arrowheadrifles.com. Yeah, if you have questions or anything, give us a call, leave them in the comments. Thanks.